Hello, Women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. Joining me today is Venus Quates, President and CEO of LaunchTech. Hi, Venus. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Jackie, thank you for having me.
Well, I'm super excited to get to know you. So let's start off with the icebreakers. Where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
So I actually live between Washington, D.C. and Huntsville, Alabama. So not even bi-coastal, but I can't say that. That sounds cooler. But I actually grew up in New York, between Western New York and New York City as well. So I had the best of both worlds, I guess. And yeah.
That's really cool. My face lit up because I was like, wait, I've lived in both of those places in the Army,
Oh.
Huntsville and DC. So very cool. All right. What is a little known fact about you that you don't mind sharing?
So I don't mind sharing that I'm a space nerd.
Okay.
Initially, I used to get picked on for my name, when we were in Earth science and just regular science. As soon as I saw my planet come up, like, no.
Kids are terrible.
So bad. No, but I actually am a nerd. There's several things around my office here in DC and my office in Huntsville, space everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
just got sick of me, but I am a space nerd. I love all things space. I used to watch Star Trek when I was a kid and, all of it.
I love it. Love it. I'll have to tell you about a movie I just recently saw and a show on Apple TV that you might like. All right. Well, tell me about your career path and how you reached this amazing position that you're in.
Okay. So I was that kid that I was an entrepreneur when I came out the womb. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know what that was or how to get there. I just, my family probably still calls me bossy. I shortened that and called myself a boss. But I was that kid that tinkered with everything. So technology engineering is something I definitely wanted to be involved in. So my aunt was a military wife, a military spouse, and during her husband's deployment, she got her management information systems degree. So all I knew is, my uncle was in the military. They were traveling all over the world, and she was in IT. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do both. Like, she never told me, but I saw her. So why would I not think that I could do that too? So that is actually how I got into the military. I just kind of went and signed up. I didn't ask my mother. I'm the only child. So,
I bet you love that.
When I came home and told her, hey, I enlisted in the Air Force, but started in the Air Force. I was in communications, comm squadron at all the bases that I was stationed, and in technology. And then I kind of continued on. I worked for government contractors and large systems integrators, and then kind of came on the commercial space after in manufacturing and financial services and things like that, working in data storage architecture and engineering. And I also worked for OEMs. I was a pre and post sales engineer at a VAR that later got purchased. And then also for technology manufacturers as well as a sales engineer.
That's amazing. And I'm starting to put this all together, getting to know you with your company's name, LaunchTech.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
So, I started this beast LaunchTech. That wasn't the original name. Thankfully, it changed probably a year in. But around 2016, I incorporated in February 2016. At the time, I was working as a data storage architect in the financial services industry, and kind of having that experience on different sides of the house, working for the manufacturer, the vendor, and the customer. You get to see where there's kind of some roadblocks or things that could be done better and more efficient. So I wanted to not only create something that can do business, a company better, faster, and cheaper, maybe not always cheaper, but better and faster for sure. And then also kind of bridge the gap to give the customer exactly what they want and actually need, and the same on all sides as well. But to be that kind of go-to solutions provider that can actually fast track a solution, and it didn't take so long to modernize an environment. So that was originally our sweet spot, technology modernization. And from procuring the equipment, from actually we've created our own fast track process, our own framework to modernize any enterprise level environment. And that's just making sure those legacy people aren't going to leave, actually implementing training. I mean, it's sweet from start to finish. So our three pillars and our focus areas are actually IT modernization, information assurance and cybersecurity, and also mission and operation support. So we actually provide those services for public and private sector customers, specifically federal and state governments, and also financial services, healthcare, the energy sector as well.
So that's amazing. Congratulations. And what I'm hearing is you are not putting a challenge past you and jumping all over STEM and crushing it. And I just love that for you.
That's my thing. I love it. I love what I do.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay, well, let's pivot to the most important risk you took and why, and maybe what the outcome was.
I think one of the things when I first started the company, I can remember, even though my whole career has been serving enterprise level customers like military and defense, you know how that is, kind of working with the military and the government, and then off on commercial with these large entities. And then, when you start, you think I'm small, so I probably need to work with small companies or organizations as well. And I found that those are the ones that require the most of you for the least amount of money. So I think the risk there was betting on myself, not just with starting the company, but having the gumption to go after the big fish and doing so with confidence because I did this for a living. I knew I could do it. I knew I could build an organization. The military not only teaches us to be leaders, but also followers, and that's important kind of when you're building this type of ecosystem. So just taking a risk on being confident enough in my own abilities. I may not know every single piece or every single thing to do at each breakpoint, but one thing I will do is bet on thyself.
I love that. That's such great advice. Amazing. So probably a good place to pivot to how you continue to grow and develop as a leader.
I am a huge proponent of continuing education in different facets. So one of the kind of benefits of being minority woman and a veteran, service disabled veteran also, is that there's plenty of programs, especially as an entrepreneur, for you to go to and for you to grow as a leader, as a business owner, etc. So, I mean, they're on my radar. I will sign up for everything. I've been to every Ivy League college you can imagine. They have executive programs, and they also always have a program for diverse executives as well. So that's been wonderful. So women of the channel, please do that. Sign up for those. Tech School of Business at Dartmouth has a really great one. UCLA Anderson School of Business has an awesome one too. So things like that I think are important. Even on my own, I examine what I tolerate. I examine what I ingest. So on YouTube, I'm listening to things that can help me be a better person, a better leader, because I don't take the CEO hat off because I've closed my laptop. I still am one and I represent my company always. So it's just in those things, just making sure, I'm making sure I'm showing up as my best self always. I know that sounds cliche, but it's
No, not at all. I love, I don't want to mess up what you said, but examine what you tolerate and examine what you're ingesting. Like that was like key. Like those are some great key takeaways. Along with the little tidbits you gave our community about the resources that are out there, because I mean, if you don't know, you don't think to look there. So that's amazing that you're not only leveraging that, but also pulling up other women with you and saying, hey, there's these really amazing things out there that all you have to do is look and pay attention and invest the time in yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we have time for one more. So I'm going to go with, what are some individuals who inspired you in your journey?
Have quite a few. One in particular, my first and foremost, my role model was my grandfather, Major Henry S. Williams Jr., Senior. So he actually was nonstop. He served his community first. He was a retired Army major. He after he got out of the military, he retired from like 12 things. So he kept going, and they all had some proponent of service to them. His last kind of hurrah was he started a nonprofit to teach inner city kids how to play golf. So I've actually, it's probably another a huge point about me that most people don't know, but I've actually been playing golf since I was a teenager because of him. And so he started this thing. He was somewhere on vacation and saw someone teaching kids how to play golf. And he's like, wow, that would be great to bring to the inner city. So he did that, and it ran for 19 years. I started as a kid who learned like the rest of them and ended up on the advisory board before he passed away. And so he's a huge role model to me. I could even recall him up in the middle of the night writing grant proposals. And this is before the typewriters and everything else. Like,
wow.
Doing that. So that's one for sure. There's a few other women in technology and women CEOs. Sent Marshall, who's the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks. I had a chance to meet her at a Dallas game it's actually last year. Kahina Van Dyke, who's a fintech CEO. So really cool women. Also David Stewart, he's the CEO, or the actual chairman now, but one of the founders of Worldwide Technology, who is the largest Black-owned company in the United States, I believe. So we actually have a partnership with them, and to have someone like, literally, he's been on my vision board for years, and we got the opportunity a few years ago to work on a contract with them, and that continues to grow. So there's a few people that I think not just embody strength, and they gave me an opportunity to see someone who's opened a path for themselves, but also left behind crumbs for others that look like me to kind of pick up behind. So I appreciate that.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing a little of your journey and some great takeaways for our community, Venus. I'm so happy that you have allowed us to spend some time with you and celebrate you as our Woman of the Week.
Thank you for having me.
All right, community members, please do, celebrate Venus, give her a high five, comment, share your tips. This is how we grow together. So until next time, happy Wednesday.